Who's Erik the Red? Is he an ally of the X-Men? An enemy? Let's find out in the 52nd issue of Tommy Reads X-Men. Let's get to it. Tommy Reads X-Men. Tommy Reads X-Men. It's cool. What's going on? It's your boy welcoming you to another issue of Tommy Reads X-Men. Today, we are looking at X-Men number 52 from January 1969, written by Arnold Drake with art by Werner Roth. This one is called Twilight of the Mutants. In the last issue, X-Men number 51, which I'll leave a description to down here in the links below, we met a character named Erik the Red. Now, he was kind of a Conan the Barbarian looking-ish dude who was like calling out Magneto. Now, suddenly, he gets to Magneto's lair. How? Now, Magneto's hurt from the previous battle with the X-Men, so Mesmero, his main henchman, and the other henchman decide to battle this dude, and Erik the Red handles them really easily. Now, watching all this battle happen is Lorna Dane, aka Polaris, but they don't call her that. Now, she's like, I gotta side with my pops here, Magneto, even though I just met him. And for some reason has some kind of weird loyalty to Magneto. Like, he has not been in your life up until like an hour ago, and you got this much loyalty. All these machines in here in Magneto's lair, and none of them's a DNA test. Now, Erik the Red meets up with Lorna, and he's like, I didn't come here to destroy Magneto. He's my inspiration. I was just calling him out because he's awesome, which he is. And I want to join you guys. Now, Magneto is hurt. He's like, you know what? Let him join. I mean, it'll provide a distraction for the X-Men while I'm recovering, right? Now, I know you're asking yourself, where's the X-Men in all this? Now, they done flew back to San Francisco after stealing one of Magneto's rocket ships. What they did with the rocket ship after that? Did they just park it? I don't know. We don't know. They don't explain, and that is driving me crazy. What happened to the rocket ship? The X-Men are working on a little thing that they're calling Project Twilight. What's Project Twilight? Now, if I may guess, I'm going to say it's definitely not a cheesy vampire film that'll confuse a generation of kids on what romance is versus being just a straight up sparkly stalker, and filmed in a weird blue filter. But that should be on a movie poster. Now, Iceman, if you remember, was taken off the mission because Cyclops, as per his orders, said your opinion was compromised. Whatever you got going with Lorna here is affecting your team judgment. And as if to illustrate his point that he's a hothead who can't keep his temper, he got into a pull-apart fight with Cyclops that the whole team had to break up, so he went to blow off some steam. And rather than just wait for him to come back, they're like, you know what, let's go ahead with the plan. He'll be fine. He'll know that he's off the mission. Back at the lair, Magneto's evil lair, not, the X-Men swinging bachelor pad, Mesmero tries to save face by saying, oh, well, I was holding back because I don't know who you are or whatever. Come on, dude. You got handled. All the henchmen got handled by one dude. Cut to the X-Men who are back at Magneto's lair. Now, there's got to be sensors or something going off in the lair where they would see a big-ass rocket ship land, let alone their rocket ship, so they don't have no kind of tracking equipment or nothing like that. But the big-ass rocket ship landed, the X-Men are hiding around in the lair, and who do they encounter but this guy, Erik the Red. And what does he do? Does he hit him? Does he sound some alarms? Here's what he does. The third option, he hugs him. Why? Because Erik the Red is Scott Summers undercover. That's right, Scotty done fooled everyone. This is Project Twilight? I don't know. It just seems like he went to a costume shop. How he got back on the island, returned the ship so that the X-Men could fly. Then they went back. I don't know. It's the logistics. Now, the X-Men start setting up booby traps for the henchmen and Mesmero, Mags, even Lorna. They start, doing stuff with the floor or whatever. And who comes a-walking up? Iceman. That's right. How? How did he get on the island? Is Magneto's island Alcatraz from San Francisco, which is like a boat ride away if you don't know where Alcatraz is in San Francisco, whatever. But how did he get up there? How? This has been the problem. I'm reading this whole issue like, what? And as if some Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner type scenario. Bobby walks into the traps and zzz, he gets electrocuted. Because of this, Cyclops goes to help him, and now his undercover work, his Departed-esque Billy Costigan-like work, is compromised. Because Magneto's like, oh, well, you're probably Cyclops because he's the only one who ain't here. So we get the Xmen versus Mesmero and the Henchmen. Mags is kind of looking on the whole thing, and Lorna's just there. Hank is carrying his best friend, Bobby. And then we get Mesmero versus Marvel Girl. That's right, Jean's like, y'all back up. I got this. Okay? And she beats him up. Go, Jean. Cut to Bobby, who's starting to come out of it, and he finds Lorna. Dude's got a one-track mind. And he's like, Lorna, I went to, now listen to this, because this sound, like, tell me this ain't no red flag, you know what I'm saying? Lorna, I went to your hometown, I talked with your parents, except they're not your parents, it was really like your uncle who raised you, but you didn't know that, and then I talked to the doctor who delivered you, and they all say, and I got sworn affidavits, that Magneto is not your father. That is some classic stalker stuff. Am I right? And that is probably what Project Twilight was, right? The classic stalker case, like I'm gonna watch you while you sleep and sparkle, because Iceman's made of ice, he shine like a diamond. Was that Project Twilight? I don't know. What was Project Twilight? They never said. This is like that Factor 3 thing that they did for a whole year of teases before it was just like, oh, there's a couple dudes. Now, for some reason, Lorna takes everything everyone says at face value. When Magneto was like, I'm your dad, she's like, oh, that's my dad. And when now that Bobby's like, that ain't your dad, she's like, oh, that ain't my dad. So she decides, I'm gonna go take care of this Magneto problem. And single-handedly takes out, during the battle, Mesmero and the henchmen all with one move. Now, the X-Men who are fighting right alongside him, against him, whatever, were not hurt in the move that she did. All of a sudden, the X-Men are protected. That did not make sense. Magneto escapes because he's Mags, he's awesome. He's always got a plan B or C, a backup plan. And he's like, you know what? This layer is compromised. I'm just going to go ahead and blow it up. So he blows up the island, thinking he got the X-Men, but the X-Men and Lorna escape back to the swinging bachelor pad of Bobby and Hank in San Francisco, where they're going to rest up. End of main story. Let's get to the backup. The backup story is called The Crimes. You know what? I'm not even going to pump it up. It's called The Crimes of the Conquistador. In the story, to recap, the Conquistador was a bad guy who saw Hank on national television stop a bank robbery, then finish the football game he was playing. And he was like, I need that guy on my team. So he kidnaps him. He's like, join me or else. Hank's like, what you mean or else? And he's like, oh, did I not mention I kidnapped your parents right here? And the parents are like, oh, Henry. I'm making it sound more interesting than it is. Kudos to me, though. So basically what the Conquistador tells him to do is, I need you to steal this thing. There's a large wall that only you can scale for some reason. I mean, God forbid we build like a machine that has like a giant like claw thing, like that claw, and get it that way. But we need this dude to jump over this wall and steal this thing. And then I'll let your parents and you go. And Hank's like, oh, okay. And so cut to Charles Xavier in the X-Mansion with Angel, Bobby, Cyclops. And he's like, I need to find this Hank kid. Let me use this new thing that I've been working on. I think I'm going to call it Cerebro. And that's the first time he uses Cerebro, which is awesome. The only awesome part of this backup story. So Hank jumps over the wall, steals this thing, and he's like, here you go. And he's like, oh, well, you work for me now. I wasn't going to let you and your parents go. You work for me now. End of backup story. Let me hit you with some final thoughts. All right, y'all, some final thoughts on this. This was about an 8 out of 10, and let me tell you why. The action was really good. It was very well drawn. It was exciting. You know, as far as Mags and X-Men battles go, this one was pretty good. You know, Jean versus Mesmero was a cool thing. Like, you know, it was good to see her step up. I enjoyed the action. Anytime Magneto's in it, I'm digging the X-Men issue, so this was no different. The backup story was just, it was lame. It was lame, but Charles using Cerebro for the first time was pretty cool. I really enjoyed reading this issue. It was fun. Can't wait for the next issue. If you like what you see or are mildly entertained, please like and subscribe down here. Hit that bell notification in the corner. I don't know exactly where it's at. And do your boy a solid. Help spread the word about the Tommy Love Stuff channel, YouTube's best kept secret. We got a lot of great stuff on the channel. If you haven't seen the older Tommy Reads X-Men, please check them out. If you like food reviews, we do have the ChubCon reviews on our playlist. A lot of great stuff on the channel, like I said. If it's your first time watching, thank you for letting me entertain you. If it's your 50th or 60th time watching, I appreciate the support and continue to do so. Check us out later when we have another Tommy Reads X-Men. We'll be back soon, though. Later.